Hey everyone, I just wanted to go through my Evernote system with you and kind of show you how it works on my side. I'm not going to do a full-blown tutorial right now. I have lots of projects on my plate, but I will kind of give you a inside look and just kind of describe the general process. So I love Evernote for a digital learning hub for my students. It's easy to connect, easy to use, and pretty much everything goes into their Evernote and I'll show you that in a minute. It's very comprehensive. It's kind of like an open source software where you can make it whatever you wanted to make it. You don't have the boundaries of or the limitations of some other software where they basically tell you that this is how it is, and then you have to work within that. Now, for some people, that might be preferable. If you want someone else to do all that other work for you and you just sign up for an account and then manage your assignments and recordings, then I think that's great. For those that want to be in control of how everything operates, how it looks, and how your students are connecting, I love Evernote for this purpose. Okay, so once you download the Evernote app, and you can use the website as well, the browser version, but the Evernote app is a lot better for the students and the teachers. Then we'll get into a screen like this. You're not going to have all these notebooks here. Think of these as your main folders and then subfolders. And then within those folders, then you can add notes, and those notes can be anything. So I think what we're just going to do is get right into it. I'm going to demonstrate one of my student folders. Let's see here. Every student is different, so we'll click on my last one here. Okay, this is a jazz student, and we'll just look at the left-hand side here. Think of this as your feed, and this is what the students are seeing as well. So you can see they're dated. You can also see there's notes with tracks in here. And so anytime I add a new note, they'll see that in there. And it's done by the order of date, which is great. Anytime changes are made, then that will go up on top here. And week to week, let me show you how easy it is, and then I'll show you what I'm doing here. Week to week, right before their lesson, I'm going to click on this note, the most recent note. I'm going to duplicate it. And then I'm just going to change the date. I'll just go ahead and do this now. We're having our lesson tomorrow. And then take off the copy. Now I'm ready. And of course, I'll go over his notes and just kind of recall or capture what we did last week, and then prepare for the lesson. And then while we're in the lesson, I'll go ahead and write notes in there and all that good stuff. So let's just kind of talk about what's happening here. I have everything organized into different areas of focus. Transcribing. We're working some chord voicings out of the Jazz Anyone book. Willie Thomas. We're working on some specific chord voicings, and then improvisation in general, lots of different things there. And that's pretty much it. These are kind of like review and notes for myself. There's also a practice record that I put in here. This is great for students that, if they do this, they can go in here and then they can write, I practice 45 minutes. They can check mark the day. You can set that up however you want. But let's go up to the top. So I used to do color-coded, and then I changed that because it was just getting too much. But they'll see new. I have a system. So if new is on there, that means that I just assigned it, so they know that's the most important thing to tackle. And then I have things kind of organized. I have recordings, and then check this out. It's hyperlinked. This is hyperlinked to this note here. All right? So they don't even have to mess with this sidebar here. Everything is contained within the actual assignment sheet. So I'm going to click on that.
1, 2, 3, 4, 1.
There's the backing track minus the piano part. So let me go back, get the idea. You can click on the track and it'll pull it up directly. You don't have to go into iTunes. You don't have to go into Dropbox. It is just direct connect. And I like to have everything visually organized. So they in here, they know exactly what they need to work on. This pretty much captures like how I make my notes. This pretty much captures like what we do in our lessons. Let's go down here. There's no links here, so these are just reminders of what we've worked on in previous lessons, keys to transpose to, and then their assignments. These are more like practice strategies or maybe some specific things they need to work on. There's not really a whole lot of links in here. You know what? I want to go into a different sheet. Give me 1 second here. All right, let's go into a completely different type of student here. Okay, so this student working on chromatic solfege. All right, so here's an example of a theory sheet, major and minor, or cycle of keys. So I'm going to pull this up, and there we go. So they have that for reference directly. To review, and let's see, let me go down to lesson notes. Okay, so check this out. You've heard me talk about using Fourscore and then uploading annotated PDFs, right? And so what happens is I upload those notes into Evernote. So then all they got to do is click on this link. And there we go. So this captures everything that we talked about in the lesson, things that I highlighted, things we discuss. And, my students make these kind of notes in their own music as well. It's just really reinforcement from the lesson. Whether if we're doing analysis or highlighting certain chord structures, highlighting certain, whatever elements we're pointing out in the music. So let's go to a different lesson note. Okay, so same thing here. They go back, and this is really just kind of like highlighting and like a visual review of elements. This way, their score does not get cluttered up with so much information. So, if you've heard me talk about Fourscore, I use layers. So each layer is a different concept. And each week is different lesson note. Now, for some students, I keep their previous lesson notes on there. This one, there was no need to do that. So let's see what else we have here. I'm not doing anything outrageous here with the, visual design, okay? This is more about making it to where when the student goes in there, they know exactly what to work on, and then they have kind of the visual reinforcement and reminders of things, and they can get to everything from here, all right? All right, we'll do one more example. How about... All right, Gordon. So this is, I like this one. Some of my students, I have the folder link for Dropbox. This particular student sometimes has issues getting into their Dropbox app for whatever reason, so they have a link directly to there. So that's nice to have that. Note ear training. Okay, so I've customized a bunch of Tenuto drills. Excellent site, by the way, for theory curriculum. So this is a note ear training drill. I have, I think, 15 different types of music theory drills that I've done like this. And there's in progressive order. So if I click on this, chromatic ear training, no reference note, 2 octaves bass C to treble C. This will pull up on the app if you're using the iPad, but they go right to the drill from here. That's pretty awesome. Okay, so that's another example. If you can hyperlink, if you can get a drill like this, and that's why musictheory.net is awesome for this, then they can work on that directly from Evernote. Okay? So let's go back. Oh, here we go. Fingering chart. So here's a fingering chart. We're working on a black key, 2 octaves. What else? Lesson notes. This is from a few days ago. Okay, so we worked on something different in this piece, talking about echoes of the phrases and just pointing out some things that he needs to make sure to be aware of, the form, all that good stuff. Anything else? Oh, recordings. Yeah. So, YouTube links or just direct recordings. I love this. I think we did this earlier too with my jazz student. Oh, I just saw something here. Sight reading report. Yeah, we stopped that after spring break. So this is great for just customizing things for certain students. This student needed more structure. And when they went through to look through the note, through steps, so I put some mental steps here for their sight reading, labeled their pieces. And this was, I think this was over this is in February, but this was over a period of time, pieces that he was playing through, initially via sight reading. But look, I think it's pretty clear that there's so many ways to use Evernote. I keep finding new things. Let's see if there's another example here. Oh, yes. So YouTube recordings. All right. This will pop up right in their player. Sometimes I don't have the visual performances. It just depends. I just wanted really her to listen to the recording this week, as we would be starting to actually work on it next week. So, all right. Anything else in particular to note here? Oh yeah, so like big files, like their lesson recordings from their assignments, that's all in Dropbox. And so they have that app separately. And I'll talk about that in a different video. So I thought I would just give some kind of rundown of what a few of my assignment sheets look like, and so you can see how I do it. A few of my students I've started to do, you can see from the first student, actually kind of start working on experimenting with colors and making it more visually appealing. But I'm all about having it very functional and having it very highly organized, and so my students can sit down, know exactly what to practice, and then the creativity and the motivation is really what we work on in the what I do in the lesson. So I'm not as concerned as having all this fluff as I am having a system to where they can get the most out of their practice week to week.